Okay, this time I'm going to be trying the Curls Unleashed Curl Defining Cream. It's a creamy base, and I'm using it with Paul Mitchell's The Conditioner Leave-In Moisturizer. This is one of my favorite leave-in conditioners. The last time I applied the product, I was using the TRESemmé Naturals as my leave-in, and although I did get a lot of curl definition, I ended up with hair that was still not very soft and touchable, so I was willing to try again with something different to see if I could change that. So there's my little short bangs in the front. I'm gonna clip those aside. So you can see I did most of my hair already, and it's turning out pretty good. And last time I did it with the TRESemmé Naturals, I also had that white creamy look to it, and when it dried clear. So I'm not really concerned about that white film staying. So I just put a little bit of conditioner, just that much. My hair is wet. I had to re-wet. By the time I get to the front, it gets kind of dry, so I had to re-wet it. Make sure I get the ends. And then it does say to take a pretty generous amount to go ahead and define with, so I wasn't stingy. I just started applying at the ends first and then work my way up to the roots. Once I smooth enough of the product through, then I start raking it in. I just want to make sure that every strand is coated, and you can see it's already starting to define the curl. This front section is a lot looser and wavier, and then I usually follow up by adding a little bit more water, so that way it gives the product a little bit more slip and it distributes a little bit more evenly. And that's what I do to each section. And then I do like to rinse my hands in between sections. That way I can avoid that white residue. So I still have this top section to go. So you can see my dry hair, no product, newly washed. So my hair is curly, but it just needs a little bit more hold and definition to avoid the frizz. But sometimes the frizz is kind of fun. So, and that's what I'm gonna do to the rest. getting about the same white reaction as I got the last time I applied the product. You can see all of that whiteness. And I do feel like this is about what it looked like yesterday. So in the last video, I was saying how when I first applied it and it air dried for a few hours and the roots were dry and everything, it hung about like this when it was probably 85% dry, almost 90% dry. So I am curious to see what'll happen. But I tend to do my wash and goes at night, so I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go ahead and do the hooded dryer tonight, or sometimes I'll just let it air dry until I feel that sort of gel cast on my ends and I know I can touch them and hold them, and then I'll get in there at the roots with the blow dryer. So I haven't decided, but this is what it looks like when the product is all in. You can see there are tons of little curlies going on. All the curly families are together for the night. So I might just do satin bonnet. I've been noticing the whole pineapple thing for me. This area on the sides, when I pull it up, it's like the next day when I go to re-wet it, I can never get that curl definition back again because it was pulled up. And then pulling it down and fluffing it and stuff, it's almost like I end up losing some curl definition fussing with it. But just putting a satin bonnet on for me, and then when I take it off, it is mashed down, but then when I spritz it, it comes back out. I don't know, it's just easier. So I think that's what I'm gonna do for the night. So we'll see how it turns out for tomorrow. Okay, so I didn't even bother with a tripod or anything, but I just wanted to show you I was under the dryer, the hooded dryer, and this is the end result. You can see there is shrinkage, I guess depending on your drying method, but there is a little bit of a cast. But this time it does seem to be a lot softer to the touch. So I'm thinking that the Paul Mitchell leave-in conditioner is making a really big difference on that front. And that does make sense to me too, because when I did just the that conditioner only video, I remember in that video that at first the results seemed okay, like on damp hair, but then later it kind of got an ashy film to it and it did seem kind of dry. So I think using the Tresemme underneath is probably not the best thing to do, but I guess I was concerned that there was going to be some kind of white residue or something if I mixed, you know how if you mix like a styler with a conditioner, sometimes you can get that weird white reaction. And I know there's silicones and things in the Paul Mitchell, like PEG 12 dimethicone in here. So it is like a water soluble one. But this, yes, I do really like this. This is much better. You can just tell already all of the curl definition that I've got going on right now is just like way different than in the other video. And I pretty much did the same exact application. I was just soaking wet hair, leave-in conditioner on the sections before I applied the product, so I don't have any oils or anything like that this time. This is actually kind of curly in my bangs. Look at me, I'm sweating. Whew, sitting under that dryer. I mean, by all means, if you want to go ahead and air dry, but whenever I do my nighttime wash and goes, you know, I gotta go to bed with at least pretty much dry hair, and this is dry to the touch right here. So I am feeling that softness. Now, I can't speak on the leave-in that the Curls Unleashed
line. They do have a leave-in. I can't speak on that. I did not purchase that leave-in, but it does look like the Paul Mitchell leave-in goes really well with it. So here's a look at the back. Oh yeah. Look at that. I'm thinking, yeah, this is gonna work. And I don't mind the shrinkage. I don't. Because I could always go ahead and sleep with it in a ponytail tonight. And then when I re-wet it, well, usually, see my hair, the length that it is now since I cut it, I would probably go ahead and part it down the middle and do a puff on this side, a puff on this side. Or I might, sometimes I put my puffs up high, just so when I lay down and stuff. But that's what I got going on. So yeah, I think that's definitely the combination I'll continue to use. So in the future, I may go ahead and try doing like a twist out or braid out or something like that. And I will go ahead and use the Paul Mitchell as my leave-in conditioner. So, all right, it's time for bed, people. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.